the globalists want to play Christianity off against Islam, have a big giant war, and they've been saying this for 100 years, and then out of it bring this new religious system. Ladies and gentlemen, we are financing the return of America. We're financing a war, an information war. And Hillary Clinton came out last week and said that InfoWars, she believes, is advising Russia on how to create the narrative. Now, that's obviously not true. We, the American people, bringing back Americana, are what Trump adopted because he already believed in that going back 30, 40 years on record. He was against NAFTA, GATT, you name it. And so together we're doing this. It's not like I came up with some blueprint or Ben Garrison came up with it or Ron Paul or Barry Goldwater. This is what Americana is. We're just bringing back what's been buried. You look at Archie Bunker, you know, he'd say some things I didn't agree with as a fictional character, but they'd mix it in with the writers with good stuff to then discredit Americana. So, no, Russia doesn't get the credit for the win. Trump doesn't get the credit for the win. The American people and the listeners of this broadcast do. You, when you get excited, when you get involved, nothing can stop you. So please tell folks about Infowars.com every day. Share the videos by hand over the internet on your YouTube or your Twitter or your Facebook or on your own private email. Sign up for our free newsletter, Infowars.com/newsletter. We send you articles, videos, specials, discounts, you name it. So when they do censor us with some issues or even our own sites they're trying to, believe me, we can then get you the information. Infowars.com/newsletter. Ben Garrison's new coffee table, color, glossy, 2016 election compilation. Infowarstore.com or 888-253-3139 and share the stuff on our cart with folks. Get these out to people. It is an act of resistance. They're trying to shut us down. Because here's the deal. We reach millions of people. It's a fraction of folks that actually buy stuff. If just a fraction more will go buy the BioTrue Selenium, very breast, highest quality, produced from mustard seed, it's a key. Find out about why deficiency in this is such a big cover-up and why from the mustard seed is the best. Infowarstore.com, 25% off. That is now back. We also are introducing, and this is the top 3, it's in the top 3 private personal care product lines that you see in Whole Foods and other high-quality shops. If you look at the Emmerich Essentials line of shampoo, non-nano, SPF 30, zinc oxide sunscreen, bug repellent, unscented body wash, pure tea tree shampoo, long-lasting natural deodorant, and more. You'll go, I've seen those bottles if you shop at Whole Foods or other finer establishments. And that's because it's, and the owner will even let me say who it is, but I don't want to compete with them. We're not planning to put this in stores, but it's 20% off their average retail, additional 25% off when you sign up for auto ship. But again, anybody that shopped at Whole Foods or Central Market or other places that have, big organic lines of stuff, you can see that, wait, this product has the end cap at Whole Foods in many stores. The deodorant, you're saying, wait, I've seen that at Whole Foods. That's the best seller. Yes, it's the top, it's in the top 3. Sometimes it's the top company, because sales vary. We have it. The guy's a listener. It's awesome. And he's now even spotting us. He's so cool, sending us 1,000 of each of new products we're launching without us even paying up front. He's that big a listener. So we're just really, this is a godsend to fund the operation. I mean, it's such a good deal. And the crew came up with the idea. Emmerich's Essentials, my middle name. So there you go. It's really a good deal. And we hope you buy a lot of it. That's why it's 25% off on auto ship. So you get it every 15 days, every 30 days, every 3 months, every 6 months. However you sign up, cancel anytime. Emmerich's Essentials, Infowarstore.com or 888-253-3139. All right, I've been ranting. I want to go back to Ben Garrison for 5 minutes, give him the floor to make other points, and then go to your phone calls. He's riding shotgun with us. But I get so excited, Ben, because despite how bad things are, people know the Federal Reserve is private now. They know there's a world government. All this stuff that MSM tried to suppress, they have failed. Bilderberg, it's out in the open. Where do you see all this going, and what are other key points?
Well, you're right. I mean, all of these things that used to be called conspiracy theories have now been revealed to be flat out conspiracies. And so I say what Trump has done, and I consider him not necessarily a Democrat or Republican, but a populist president like Andrew Jackson. And what Trump has done is really he's beaten the snakes out of their holes. So now we see them for what they are, and that in and of itself is quite a good accomplishment. More people are waking up, and your show and my cartoons, we're just trying to continue that momentum. And people are realizing, hey, we have something called a Constitution. The Constitution has given us unalienable rights. It's actually unalienable rights. But in actuality, we all have a lien on us due to our immoral system of money. So we have a lien on us, and we're living in an illusion of freedom. But in reality, we're owned, and we're kind of like drifting more and more toward this the police state and a prison planet, as you call it. So we have to really wake up and not just go with our, like in my cartoon shows, these smiling lambs going brainwashed into the great maw of globalism. And they're using Islam as a tool to expedite that.
There is something inherently scummy in the eyes of Islamicists. I don't care if they're white, black, Hispanic. I mean, you name it. It's just so trashy. It's a prison culture. They recruit out of the prisons. And I mean, the women are just scared to death when you see, Orthodox Islamic women out in public with their husbands or their sons. They're bowing down. So there's this paradox of these spoiled, rotten Western women allied with it in some type of sick Stockholm syndrome, complaining about the Western man that literally has put women on a pedestal. I mean, it is the most upside down abomination. What do you make of that?
Well, to me, it's not a religion of peace. It's a religion of hate and force. And compare that to Jesus, who preached love and forgiveness. Islam preaches domination and revenge. And so, I mean, we just have to start calling it for what it is. And what the major disconnect I see is, why are these feminists all pro-Islam? I do not understand that at all. They should be out there with their hats on protesting Islam instead.
And let's be clear, because we followed this. I started noticing 6, 7, 8 years ago that feminism kept defending it. Gloria Steinem kept defending it. And then we'd talk about it. They said, oh, that's crazy. Feminists don't defend Islam. And then now they have Soros-funded deals in Germany and in Berlin and D.C. I've been there, and my crews have been there, where they hand out thousands of hijabs, the main sponsors, and then USA Today and everybody comes out and just hundreds. I see articles every day. Wear a hijab, go to a mosque, learn to be a Muslim. It's liberal. Muslims are the true feminists. Huffington Post. I mean, what? What? And then USA Today, wear the hijab to fight Trump. What type of fruitcake BS is this?
If you look at a map of Europe and you see 2 countries that are mass importing Islam into their countries, one is Poland, the other one is Hungary, and you see that there are no terrorist attacks there, what does that tell you? And of course, Soros is very angry at countries like Hungary because they're not going along with the program. We need more of these countries in Europe. I think England is starting to wake up because they voted for Brexit, and
that's why they're getting hit now. Well then,
yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, Alex. That's why you're seeing so much of that the pushback there by Islam in Londonistan. So. It's like we have to see people like Geert Wilders, and we have to support people like Marine Le Pen.
And let's remember, once we're just a few years down the road with this, they start killing people, trying to kill Geert Wilders, killing other politicians that speak the truth. I mean, this is vicious. This is dangerous. This is bullying. And when we were invading the Middle East and doing stuff to them, I was against it because that's bullying. Plus, we were getting rid of the good guys, quite frankly. And yes, Saddam and others are good guys compared to what we're facing. Why do you think, and then we're going to calls, Western governments are backing radical Islam, Ben Garrison?
The Western governments are no longer answerable to the people. They're answerable to, the Illuminati at the top, which want to control people, and they want to get, it's like this relentless push. You see it, they're never going to give up their Agenda 21 and their goals to achieve global government or global governance, as Al Gore would call it. But it's always the same means to an end, and they're using the importation as Islam to break down Western civilization. It goes basically against the Magna Carta and common law. And when you get Sharia law, it's just it's completely incompatible with Western civilization and our laws and our Constitution. And they're not going to give Sharia law up because it's part of their Quran. It tells them they have to implement that. So what can be done? Well, what can be done is the Muslims need a mass reformation or something to renounce some of these radical ideas.
I agree, but I think we're seeing the Reformation. I think Al-Qaeda is their Reformation. I mean, if that's what Al-Qaeda says, no, this is the Reformation. We're getting back to our roots.
Exactly. Well, that's, you know, the roots have always been pretty radical, haven't they? That's how they're able to conquer. I mean, you know, Syria used to be a Christian country. Now it's Muslim. Look what they're doing to all the
Turkey used to be Christian.
Yes, well, look what they're doing to the Coptic Christians in Egypt. They're still wiping them out. It's a war on Christianity, and it's a war on Western civilization.
And then Trump's criticized for saying that. They've doubled the amount of Christians killed the last decade. It's exponential. More than half of all religious persecuted people are Christians. It's exploding, and Islam is about to double to 3 billion people from 1.4. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to deal with this. And I don't want a clash of civilizations. I don't want a police state to counter it. No, I want it dealt with, and I want people that espouse they're with ISIS and espouse they think women are toilet paper. They have no right to come here, period. And I don't think Trump's gone far enough. Ben Garrison's our guest. Let's go to phone calls here. We're going to go to Dan, Rod, Keith, Chris, and many others. Dan in Florida, you're on the air worldwide.
To talk to you, Alex. I just want to say thank you for all your fine products you have.
Thank you.
If I was rich, I would buy a ton more products. You know, I'm just a middle class.
Brother, just spread the links and take action and pray for us. It doesn't matter. God bless you. Go ahead. What's your question?
Well, not less of a question, but more like a statement. You know, obviously the terror that's going on, the attacks that are going on everywhere, you know, you guys really, you know, got my attention when you're talking about, you know, they're targeting women and these fake liberals and all these things. Well, you know, obviously the Third World War, you know, must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agent toward Illuminati. And, you know, the Islamic world, you know, separates from the nihilists. You know, the Albert Pike lays it all best.
Oh, there's no doubt the globalists want to play Christianity off against Islam, have a big giant war, and they've been saying this for 100 years, and then out of it bring this new religious system. And that's what Ben Garrison was just saying. They're using this clash to bring everybody down. I don't want to kill Muslims. I don't want to see Muslims die, but I'm not going to have guys run around in nightgowns on welfare bitching and telling me that my family has to wear hoods over their heads.
Exactly, you know, and this is all planned. You know, you say this all the time, and you know you're highly intelligent on this, and you know it's their plan. They want to bring them in here, collapse us, and take over again, and use you know, cause cyber war, class war, religious war.
Exactly, and then the media spins it and says that I say the cops are doing the bombings. No, the politicians are bringing in people that are known ISIS and Al-Qaeda fighters. I mean, if somebody's on video killing people, swearing allegiance to ISIS, they should be, when they go to the airport, they should be met by the military that literally takes them, you know, back to the country they came from, or takes them and tries them and then executes them. And that's not a radical statement. If we caught Nazis that had been involved killing people in World War II, try them and execute them. I'm not a vicious person, but you have to deal with these people. God bless you. I appreciate your call. Ben Garrison, you want to comment before we go to Dan?
Well, yeah, it's what he said is right on. I mean, I don't want a confrontation with them either, and I don't hate Muslims. You know what? I don't know any Muslims, but I hate what is happening when we're forced to respect something we don't respect. Let's face it, and I don't want to have to be forced to comply with the traditions and customs that Muslims bring in, or else get accused of hate speech and then locked up. Well,
sure, and I want to be clear.
America, but it's happening in Europe right now. If somebody speaks out against it, well, you know, you're going to lose your job. You're going to get a big fine. I have a friend in Germany right now, and he's outraged by the constant influx of immigrants. But he's reluctant to speak out too vociferously about it because they have hate speech laws, and he doesn't want to get fined.
Everybody has to violate those because they're unconstitutional so that it's ineffectual. That's the key, is people have to break with that. I mean, by the way, folks, I'm not going to get into it. It's just the Muslims respect people that are aware of this, especially the Shiites. I was invited to speak and have dinner with Ahmadinejad, didn't do it for obvious reasons. I've been invited just currently to go meet with the Ayatollah, the ruler of, and I don't mean just go to an event. I mean, go meet with them. So that's the kind of stuff goes on. Boy, the media would have a heyday with that. I've been invited to some other countries to speak long before all these controversies, and I didn't go for exactly those reasons. But let's just say this. They respect us for saying this, okay? It's not the other way around.
On the mainstream media, though, Alex, what you're allowed to do there is bash Christianity. That can be laughed at and humiliated, but you cannot humiliate or bash well,
that's right. Let's go to Dan in Indiana. You're on the air, Dan.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Alex, give me a chance to speak my mind before you cut me off.
Don't preface it. Just go. Start talking.
Okay. All right. You got a big fan in Akron, Ohio with Christy Wall, Land of Plenty, if you ever want to come and hang out. But my topic is an eye for an eye. I mentioned it the last time I was on the show, and Tommy Robinson said there will be people on the street, and he just confirmed what I was saying, an eye for an eye. Then Roger Stone did not answer my question, who is Jared Kushner? Is he a big Satanist? He's got a big 666 on his building. I know Satanists need towers, and that location may be a magnet.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not going to say we have no evidence Kushner's a devil worshiper. He's an Orthodox Jew. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's influenced by Democrats. That was already a prime piece of real estate that came up for sale. I think it's an unlucky number, 666. But, you know, I mean, the point is that what's your question or statement about Kushner?
It could be a portal to another demonic dimension, that location, because don't you find it kind of curious that Rockefeller Center is right across the street from that, and there was a house sitting at the same site back in the day that used to have strange things going on. So that is a portal. That is like a magnet drawing negative energy, and he may be just a freak about the number 666.
Well, you know, the UN building was built on a giant slaughterhouse facility that was there, so that's strange enough. But I'm not saying anything happened there, because one of my great grandfather ancestors sold that land that the Rockefellers later bought, that the UN building is on. It was just a bunch of swampland he owned. He was wealthy. It was David Ayers or William Ayers. He came to Texas, started the revolution. Ben Garrison, this is crazy stuff going on. You heard the last caller. Let's just get into the politics of Jared Kushner. I noticed he's kept his head down the last month or so since it became a big controversy that he might have actually seen a Russian. You know, because if you even see a Russian now, and you're in the Trump administration, you have to be burned at the stake. I don't think Kushner's that bad of a guy. What do you think?
I've got mixed opinions about it. I'm still waiting to see how it's going to unfold. I've got some trepidations about his daughter having as much power as she does. But overall, I mean, I'll criticize Trump, and I have drawn. I drew a cartoon with a tug of war with Bannon on one side and Kushner and Ivanka and others on the other, battling for his ear, so to speak. And I just think we need a little bit more time. I was very happy to see Trump reject the climate change stuff. That's, to me, was him slapping the climate change Illuminati right in the face. And I was really happy to see it as a good sign, and I hope he can continue. Because, again, I see him as a strong populist president, similar to Andrew Jackson. And as you know, it took him 2 turns to take down the central bankers. And since then, I mean, the swamp has grown exponentially larger and deeper. But if anybody can do it, it's Trump. He's our last best hope. So I'm going to continue to support him in my cartoons.
Well, Ben Garrison, I wanted to get to more calls, but we're out of time. I'm going to do 5 more minutes and then punch out her so I can go to those calls. But we've got your new cartoon booklet, the 2016 Presidential Election Collection at InfoWarsStore.com. Great job for producing this. You know, I'm now selling organic shampoo and stuff, the same brand Whole Foods sells. So I'm imagining they're going to call it Snake Poo and Snake Screen. I also sell sunscreen at InfoWarsStore.com because everything we sell is evil and bad. We're not allowed to have our own media and our own industry, according to MSM. We'll see if Megyn Kelly's any different in her piece that's coming out in a few weeks. But right now, the snake cartoons, because, again, nothing we have is real or good, is available at InfoWarsStore.com. Only MSM that tells you there's no Islamic terror and you didn't build your business, they are the only ones that are right. And you didn't, again, and Obamacare is free. 4th hour coming up with Paul Watson from France, side of the terror attacks. Let's go to Debit in Florida. Debit in Florida, you're on the air.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. Listen, I have bought your product, and I gotta say they're amazing.
Thank
Anyone
you.
who's on the fence, buy it, because I've got Caveman, Superman Vitality, Secret 12, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I've got the body armor.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
You're the type of listener that makes it all possible. Which nutraceutical does you like best?
I really like the Vitamin Mineral Fusion, to be honest. That's
It's amazing.
really incredible. I drank it in the morning, and I swear to you, I felt incredible. Like I haven't felt in weeks. My morning was fantastic, and I love you guys. I love the InfoWars crew, and I just want to, I want to take this opportunity to tell anybody out there who's on the fence. Just buy it. You will love it. I'm telling you, I've never bought a bad product.
What you find in our news is the same thing you find in our products at InfoWarsLife.com. It's a win-win, InfoWarsLife.com.